is Team Spirit's game number 2 after we had a 65-minute affair, whatever that was. We're going to see a little bit of Noob Tiny, Avery. That is a personal favorite for me. I think this guy's a fantastic Tiny player.
It's kind of only a handful of players who even play the hero still.
Yeah, nowadays, yeah.
I mean, who else is playing Tiny right now?
Last time he played it, I thought it was going to be... I remember very distinctly, I thought more people are going to play Tiny because he makes... Like, it's just so unkillable, right? Like, if he starts getting the ball rolling, he actually gets so crazy tanky.
You got to get to that. There's like a valley, right?
Yeah.
His Blink Echo, or whatever his first 2 are, is pretty good. And then you hit that roadblock, and you got to get to, like, the Ags, Daedalus, or some other late-game territory in the 3rd or 4th item. Sometimes getting there is really hard, and the hero just falls off, and he never recovers. I think that's part of the issue people have had with him in the meta. Also, he has some bad lane matchups mid. I mean, Necro is definitely one of them. I also feel like he's kind of just a worse Earth Shaker. Which doesn't help the hero.
Yeah. I mean, Tiny used to be this guy who, it was crazy because he had all this magic damage burst, and his physical damage was off the charts. Now that's Earth Shaker. Can't
pretty much
Enchant Totem.
The one thing Tiny has going for him, though, is, I mean, he has displacement, right? Toss is a hell of a spell. It will always be a tremendous spell to have on your team. You can always win a game off a good toss, no matter what. It's just that broken of an ability. It has been nerfed, but it's still very good conceptually. So as long as Quest can get to a point where their Beast and Gyro are online and you just toss somebody into that, I mean, it's pretty hard for Team Spirit to react because they have saves, but their saves are not good if the hero's 1,500 units away. So that's what I would look for in this Tiny particularly. Not necessarily the burst jump on the backline, but the displacement on a core and take the fight that way around your Gyro, creating the AoE zone control. This lane's going to be a tough one, though. I mean, Necro, in theory, just dumpsters Tiny here.
That is definitely the downside. The counter pick is going to be pretty rough. We'll see how much Laurel is able to accomplish in this matchup. They also have, this is no longer a cool combo, but it used to be. Did you ever play this? Shadow Demon Necrophos, back when he had Soul Catcher?
Oh, yeah.
The one that reduced your HP by, like, you know, straight 40%.
It's classic.
And you just Reaper him. Not the case anymore, though.
Nope.
Does anybody even ever think about Disseminate for more than 5 seconds in a game?
Yeah, I think about it at the start. And I'm like, should I skill this spell? And then I decided not to. Honestly, this spell's not that bad.
I feel like it's an okay value point, you know?
I think people are getting better at using it. The first 2 months that spell came out, nobody used it because you couldn't see it and they don't know what it does.
Yeah.
There's no positive feedback. I think people are getting more used to understanding its impact in a fight, and I mean, it's kind of free, right? Like, you're not picking Shadow Demon for Disseminate. You're picking it for all the other spells, and you just get it on top of it. So, I mean, what's really the downside? The hero's great without it, then he's even better with it.
Wow.
You know, unlike the Zai Legion game earlier, where he shouldn't have skilled Duel, I think we all agree on.
There is no downside to
there is
leveling Disseminate.
Exactly.
Right?
You can't give Disseminate to the enemy, so it's free. Free for the taking. Of course, Yatoro on his signature Terrorblade that he won Riyadh Masters with will make a resurgence here. Quite fearsome. The souls of Liquid are currently trapped in that demon. Mickey screaming for help.
Some places I could go with that one, but you think Yatoro is he easily #1 carry in the world right now? Or do you feel like there's a actual argument to be made for anybody else?
Nice little first blood. You get it on a Phoenix lane. That feels especially good for the XP. I mean, are you asking me who I think the best carry in the world is, or are you saying objectively who's the best carry in the world?
Oh, okay. Both.
RTZ.
Oh, okay. Right. Wait, is that objectively or your opinion? Which one?
That's both. I'll let you figure it out. Is Yatoro... I mean... Look, if you hit me down and you have me build a team and I'm taking one active carry that I'm going to pick, I personally would take Yatoro because I just like how he plays. I'm biased. Well, I mean, what can you do? I'm a Yatoro fanboy. Do I think he's objectively the best carry in the world? Yeah, I think he's Yatoro, right?
Okay, so
I mean, until Miracle comes back, what am I supposed to do?
Well, with Miracle gone, then there is an empty seat for
That's right, the throne is vacant.
Nisha, people pointed to Nisha as being the...
He's a mid. He doesn't count.
Oh, okay, I'm saying player. GOAT. He's the best carry right now. Is he the best player, period, right now?
That one's trickier. I mean, best player, period.
You're no Skip Bayless. You just got to have a strong opinion and throw it out there. Toro, Disruption is only going to buy him a time, but he still comes back into double boars plus Hawk.
All right, it's definitely not Yatoro anymore. Not after that death.
Could have had it all, kid. Could have been the greatest. One death. Man, Noob is suffering. I know that's whole Necrophos's, that's his whole shtick. Pain and suffering, but Pulp of Pestilence is really giving it to Noob, and he walks into the Bramble, maybe just to make sure he doesn't give the kill to Laurel. This is not going to be the same Noob Tiny of games past. And even a kill on Collapse. The Phoenix lane continues to pick up kills, Avery. This is looking really weird. Mid is hard losing, top is hard winning.
This is a weird start, but it's kind of expected, right? I mean, you know this Necro is going to dump on the Tiny. There's nobody who can help him either. Phoenix is not a rotating hero, and you can't really leave the Beast alone. I think it would have been too hard for Toby. Maybe now you can that he has Helm, but even then the rotation in the mid is like, what are you doing to this guy? He opted for the Wraithband into the early chainmail, so he has armor on the Necro. It's not that easy of a kill. But these side lanes going really well for Quest, especially top. You win a lane with Phoenix this hard, a first pick Phoenix, a Cowrie first pick Phoenix, and you're decimating the lane with kills, so extra XP going into the bird. You're super happy with that. Because this is a hero that usually does not get the benefit of extra levels going into that like 10 to 15 minute mark.
Yeah,
he's going to have it.
Especially as a laner, he really doesn't feel good until he's like level 5. And he has level 3 spirits, but it's not even at that point yet.
And this Gyro didn't go Barrage. He's still going like the 0-2 max flak build. Okay, you have an extra point in missile, but it's been hella worth it in this lane. So you haven't had to commit Barrage points to even get the kills. It's even better. I mean, this is just a tremendous safe lane performance from Quest, putting them in a really decent position.
He's got to save Noob's game. He does manage to pull the creep wave off the tower, which is nice, but Laurel is, yeah, he's just going to stand here between the tier 1 and tier 2.
And there's just nothing you can do. You're not a primal beast. You can't pull waves in between and farm it up. Downside of Tiny, man. Just got to take it for the team here.
It's going to be a clip off.
Inventory. I mean, Mira's going to win it. All right, I mean,
really? Really?
I mean, obviously there's like some lag or something on the server. I don't know.
Yeah, who's got the lower ping? It's gonna fly off the map. Bye-bye.
Can that Bramble land off the map? I don't think it can.
Yeah, I think the Brambles probably get pushed to being on the map. If I had to guess. Well, it's going to be Blade Mail. Laurel is going to be pretty untouchable here. And they do have some saves behind him. I mean, if they get to a point where they have Shadow Demon Demonic Cleanse, that's going to be fantastic. But just Disruption and also the Purge from the Legion Commander can do a lot to make sure this Necrophos always gets off.
All right, I know who it is.
Heals. Best player in the world?
Yeah.
Okay.
If we consider this year as a whole, I think it's Ace. I think Ace is the best player in the world right now in terms of value added to a team, gameplay wise.
Okay.
Man, there's a take for you.
I will give that to you for now.
Well, yeah, until Miracle comes back.
That and TI happens. Right. I mean, Team Spirit win both Riyadh and TI, then it has to be somewhere on their team at that point.
No, you can be the best team in the world, not have the best player.
Yeah, but I feel like the gap is very...
Ooh, little Centaur Stomp.
Players. Nice Centaur Stomp. Not that he had Sunder, actually. He's got the 1-3-2 build, which is pretty classic.
I mean, Yatoro's felt the pain in this lane, for sure.
Yeah.
Mirana's done some work, helped skew this into the Beastmaster's favor, and
This is not the same as the Spectre lane, where he was feeling the pain, but still had top net worth.
these side lanes have gone really well for Quest. They've definitely struck back. They've gotten their comfort support heroes as well. I think these are the two that they take over pretty much anything, right? They first picked the Phoenix. It's been Cowrie's go-to for the whole year. And I think Omar, I've always felt his Mirana is his best hero. I know he really likes the Rubik and the Skywrath, but I think he always pops off in this Mirana. So sometimes comfort goes a long way. Doing some work here. Of course, mid is, you know, it's a one-sided affair. Your tower's gone, and Laurel's moving on to other objectives here. He rushed the Blade Mail. Pretty interesting build up here for the Necro. Gonna be great versus the Gyro, Phoenix, all this damage that Quest have to pump into him. Does leave him a little lackluster in terms of map mobility. Like, you could have gone for a bots build. Also, not as much mana, but in theory, this hero doesn't need much mana. And if you just burst him before he gets it off, then it doesn't do much for him.
Get the combo off. The burst damage isn't nearly enough. Noob only being level 7, and the arrow doesn't land. Laurel turns around, gets off the Reaper Scythe before he dies, and they get a dual kill. So double bonuses there for Team Spirit, even if they trade 1 for 2.
Yeah, of course, Necro isn't undead, so he can get that Reaper buff from the grave.
Is that the lore?
That's right.
He's not actually undead, is he?
Well, it is based off the Warcraft 3 model, though. It's an undead model.
Sure. But I'm saying lore-wise.
I'm pretty sure he's undead lore-wise. It's like a ghoul or something. I mean, look at him.
He definitely looks undead.
Nice. Not as undead as Shopify. Back to life at this event.
Yeah, it's a good throwback.
That was honestly not too bad for Laurel. Like, the fact he gets the kill, they get the tower as a response, he can go back, do some stacks. If you look at his net worth, this Necro is having a great game despite that death. And it's going to show, because if his itemization is interesting. That's actually one thing I was going to bring up here is you pick this Necro last, you have a Legion, you have a Terrorblade. In theory, you have 2 semi-carries on your side lanes, right? There's a world you could play this Necro just more as like a utility frontliner. I'm not saying you go Greaves or something, but you just tank up and not play him like you can play the Necro in the current meta, which is, you know, you get the, like, the heart Ags, Radiant something, and you're the damage dealer. I don't know if Laurel has to go that route. He could. If they feel like it just doesn't matter, they're just going to have 5 carries like they did last game, okay, sure. But I think there's a route where you just go this Blade Mail into like the Sange, Kaya Sange, something else. I don't know. Like even
Kaya Sange, Shard, and
yeah, sure,
maybe Pipe.
I genuinely,
I think a Pipe would be nice for them.
I think Pipe Greaves on this Necro honestly doesn't sound too bad, right? If you
I thought you said, well, don't build a Greaves, but
I'm not saying he has to, but I wouldn't mind it. I just don't think Laurel's going to do it.
Sure. I definitely think Radiance would be too greedy, even with the great start that he's had and everything. Just let Yatoro be the carry, tank up as much as you can, draw some attention.
It's also about the type of fight Quest wants to take. Like, they have this tiny Mirana beast. It's a lot about when the tiny goes in, do you burst somebody?
Yes.
And building Squishy on the Necro just makes that easier. You don't have as much time to get the saves off between the Disruption and your Legion pops. So
that was the thing for me, is like, I want to survive long enough that the Legion Commander saves me, or we get a Disruption off.
I think that's pretty valuable here. And I think you'll win the fight after that as a consequence, so just tanking up here sounds great.
And if you stay alive, it'll help. It'll go a long way for your supports to be able to deal with like the shots that come in from flat cannon and stuff. It'll just create a big ball of sustain for the team.
I mean, this is a sad tiny inventory, but it's getting a little less sad now that you've got that Midas charge ticking up.
Golden hand.
It just feels like the go-to. I mean, if you have a rough early game, you're just gonna buy Midas, right? I mean, what else is there to do? I mean, you could just rush Blink and then smoke and get a kill, but you could also just rush Midas and smoke gank a neutral camp. And get a Midas on Phoenix too while we're at it.
Midas is all around.
Oh, see, this is... Well, we're gonna watch the smoke. I'll talk about my point after this. Collapse, maybe gonna get caught here.
Terrorize, immediately thinking about it, and we'll get it off. Collapse didn't actually need it too much. Damage looking pretty lackluster from Noob so far. Kaori will be able to not TP out. Got the disruption in time.
Nice play by Poshka. Really good angle.
You're doing very well.
Just had a perfect read on it. Little things add up. Gets him another Reaper kill, another charge. And he did go back for the bots, which I like. We saw that earlier.
Yep.
This hero's just so immobile without it, especially from mid. Yeah, you want to be more active from the mid lane, so I like it here.
Oh, what's the build you're going to talk about?
Oh, I was saying, you look at Omar. This guy's a Mirana player. What does he have, Cap? What did I talk about earlier? Oh, boom, it's right there.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada bracer, you know what I'm saying? A casual bracer on those universal range supports feels good. He's regenning up. Look, he's got 9 regen. Wow. Just cruising around the map. Doesn't ever need to go to base.
That's incredible.
You get the stats, you get the base damage. It just feels good.
If they win this game, it's all because of the bracer.
It might be. And a decent chunk of it, at least. MVP so far for sure. Going to that early medallion, we're seeing a lot more medallion Solar Crest, especially from these roamers. It just feels nice, I guess. I mean, it helps you with the Roche, helps you with the physical burst. I wouldn't say the physical burst is that crazy on Quest though this game. But the Solar Crest for Gyro later, it's pretty nice. Any buffs you can pour onto this guy who's outputting the flax is going to feel pretty good. Though I always have felt like the damage buffs on Gyro are better than the attack speed buffs.
Yeah, like the Vlad's feels a lot better from the Beastmaster than Solar Crest does. But
like, you'd rather have a Invoker Alacrity than a Inner Beast.
It might help him for the man fight against the Terrorblade, though.
True. That part is nice for sure. Also, Solar Crest is just... The item's gotten a bit more figured out in terms of like using it offensively, chasing people down. The slow and the attack speed slow is really annoying on some of these heroes. Like, you throw it on the Legion or the Terrorblade in a fight and they lose the attack speed. It's very obnoxious. You take a huge chunk of the damage that they might not expect. Something we can look towards, but this has been a slower paced game. Both teams kind of farming up off the lane wins that they had and towers being traded out. Though Quest have not been able to really get their beast too deep into the Radiant side of the map, which I think Team Spirit are very happy with. Like, you can sit a support down here and make Toby push all this wave back in. Creates a lot of time, creates a lot of space, and they're controlling the gates right now too. Might even swing Collapse down here. Yeah, they're going to try and keep the beast out of this area completely.
Blink's ahead of the Beastmaster Dragon. They already popped the Moonlight Shadow, so they're going to go back through the gate here. Now, it is Roshan nighttime, so controlling this top part of the map, maybe Quest is going to be thinking about that.
Not for sure. I mean, they can do it at any point right now. It's a difficult contest for Team Spirit, I want to say. I don't think they have much fight around the pit, and it kind of just requires them walking in. You don't really have big items yet either. Yatoro went for his own Midas here. Everybody's just Midas gaming it.
I mean, I love the fact that Yatoro is set up to be able to cut this wave. It makes it a lot more awkward for Quest as the 4-man smoke is going to cut through.
You have Blink on Collapse, so he actually can start the fight and just go in. Maybe a huge overwhelming odds.
Does he go on, though?
Oh,
he's going to spot the heroes from his high ground position. It is nighttime, so they don't get that much vision, and they waste out the Terrorize. Now the jump forward from Laurel. It's pretty bold, pretty deep, and he may be in trouble for it. It's the Supernova is going to be protected in Team Spirit. They may be backed Quest into a corner, but it's a back that Quest were able to fight against.
I don't know what the hell that means, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess they fought that back or something, and it turned out all right as Roshan will be claimed by them.
Listen, backs against the wall, yada yada.
They fought the back and won. Impressive from Quest.
The Law won.
Another sick disruption from Aposhka has really been on point this game, as he'll beat away a kill here. But he's done some little things. His Shadow Demon always impresses me, honestly. He has a very, very good 5-position Shadow Demon. Not an easy hero to play from 5 a lot of times. It's just a hard contest, right? If you land like the big Blink overwhelming here with the Terrorize, I think this fight's winnable. However, Quest just baited you in too deep, and Sick Disruption allows the Reaper to go out on Shad, almost snags him.
Yeah, it was a close call, actually. Didn't realize how low the gyro caught from that Reaper's Scythe.
I almost think Collapse should have just jumped, maybe, like when he saw that Mirana, because you don't know, but I don't know if that fight develops better for you when they can protect the egg like that. It's a tough call to make. I mean, there's no easy choice there. And Collapse is, I'm not going to criticize Collapse because, you know, I receive enough death threats every day.
Well, what's a few more? So, Aegis for Shad. The Solar Crest done from the Mirana. Noob's ready to go. He's got that Blink Dagger. Itemization is going to be kicking up his net worth back to recovery point. Things are looking good for Quest.
They're cruising right now. Big question is what happens if Team Spirit get to the survival items? Like, they get to a point where their cores are tanky enough to survive initial rounds of spells and burst. And I think the big one is probably BKB for Collapse. I think BKB on this Legion allows him to just go in and duel somebody, and there is no save on the side of Quest. A lot of these Legion games we've seen today, it's just been mass saves. It's very hard to start the fights on duel. This is an okay game to just go in and duel a core with the Blade Mail if you think you can follow it up with enough damage. And you have Reaper, you have Terrorize, you have a Disseminate to throw in there. I mean, it's a lot of good stuff. Whereas Quest can only really Sunray the guy or egg in the back, and it's not that much burst heal. So I feel like BKB for Collapse is what Team Spirit are looking for. They're probably just going to trade the map and try and waste this Aegis. So yeah, if you're a noob, you better start looking for some kills, because right now the map is yours. I think Team Spirit are in dodge mode. You could also just force the high ground. You do have Beastmaster Gyro. Very good high ground heroes. Especially with Solar Crest behind you early. There's potential here. Pipe done for Toby as well.
Quest especially need to be able to win this game, by the way, because they're pretty much making a race against Game and Gladiators, and the spicy thing is they are going to be matched up against each other tomorrow. So if they lose this game, they maybe end up in a situation where they have to 2-0 Game and Gladiators in order to stave off elimination and put Game and Gladiators down instead. But if they win this, you know, maybe they can afford to drop a game in that situation.
Everything's on the line coming down to the last day.
Yeah.
These are the smokes that win or lose you games right here, looking
Oh,
for Yatoro with an arrow.
No! Downtown lands a beautiful arrow and will clean up Yatoro, just what they needed, because I was going to say you do not want to let Yatoro's Terra Blade get to that Scotty Blade and just start turning the game around.
What did I tell you about this man's Mirana? What did I tell you?
Oh, he lands another one.
What did I tell you about this man's Mirana? Show it some goddamn respect.
No chance of a Terrorize here.
Show it some goddamn respect. I'm actually bad for him. I'm bad for him right now.
I'm sorry.
What did I say about the Bracer Mirana? You need to show it some goddamn respect. And he's showing you why. 2 big arrows in the clutch. Rips that god off Yatoro's name and slaps it on his own. And says, now I'm going high ground. I don't need no setup, son.
He swapped the G and the D. Now they're going high ground, hitting your B. Barracks in trouble.
What?
B for Barracks.
Right.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Okay.
You got the G and the D swap thing, right?
Yeah, I got it.
5 to 11, 6,000 net worth lead for Quest. 40 seconds left on the Aegis, though. So they could just try and go high ground, but I have a feeling they're going to chill out.
Yeah, you don't want to get caught in one of those weird situations where it times out at a weird spot.
And Team Spirit are going to try and catch you on the timeout here, I believe, as they're going to make a full 5-man smoke up.
They just don't have many actual items. They just have a bunch of Midases. In fact, Mira's going back for his... It's just Midas world, man.
Yeah, Yatoro needs to use both of his right now.
We're just living in Midas world. Doesn't want to use the other charge on a useless lane creep, of course. But if you're looking at this terribly, I mean, what is he really offering in a fight? He's offering a Manta, right? That's it?
Yeah.
So I don't feel like a lot of this networks for Spirit is translating into much right now. Now, it's going to translate into stuff 20 minutes from now, for sure. You get BKB on Collapse, you get a Blink or a Shiva's on Laurel, Scotty done for Yatoro, and then suddenly a lot of this starts to come together. But right now, Quest got a decent advantage here. They have a lot more fighting items, especially with the Beastmaster. Remember, these Zoo heroes fell off a little bit, but they were incredibly strong for most of the year, and the big reason why is you get these 5-man team items up, just can't kill anybody, you can't fight them. And right now, they have pipe advantage, they have Helm of the Dominator with Vlad's built-in advantage. I would not mind some early fight forcing or even just maybe a casual high ground poke, like make Spirit come back, collapse the map that way. More pickoffs are great too if you can get them.
This Shadow Blade's gonna find Mira, and maybe they can chase after Collapse. No, they're not going to. In fact, Collapse wanted to go for Kauri. He popped the blade mail. I think he wanted to blink duel, but
He's killing him.
yeah, he's gonna keep him from being able to blink away long enough that Noob had a chance. Doesn't get the avalanche out in time. Collapse taunts him as he runs away. More space for Yatoro, who's farming up the top half of the map. Even hit the tier 3 for a good amount of damage.
He's been clearing through it. Just forcing the split push, making Quest come back, split the ball up. Becomes a lot weaker. You're going to create play opportunities for yourself, and he's going to push towards the Scotty.
Yeah, he's got it.
Well, I mean, look at the net worth here for Quest, right? All of that Necro advantage off the lane is gone. It's the power of Midas and the power of slow gameplay, I guess. See? Slow.
I don't think that's usually what they mean by slow gameplay.
I mean, it has felt very slow for Team Spirit here.
Yeah.
And normally when you last pick a hero like this and you want to dominate a lane match, you know is guaranteed. In this case, the Necro versus the Tiny, you want it to translate into something in terms of map control or continuously shutting down at least one of the cores. It didn't have to be the Tiny. It could have been, okay, we're going to take away the gyro space by taking early tier 1s, getting on their side of the map, but it has to be something. And it just never happened. This Necro has felt impotent.
Mira says, they got 2 Midases, we need 2 Midases.
That's what I was saying, man. He went back for one. I mean, Midas on Dark Willow is quite good. It is one of the supports I like it on because the levels... Okay. Yatoro makes his presence felt. The levels and the attack speed on Willow are amazing, right?
Only the wary.
Yes.
So I don't... Like, conceptually, I think Midas is completely fine on Willow. It's just in this position when you're last net worth in the game, you're not finding much on the map. You're getting outballed. Is Midas going to do a lot for you in that time period? I don't know. I don't know if this is the game for it, but we'll see.
They're being outballed, but maybe they can out-split push, draw the game.
Yeah, stall the game out off the Terror Blade. I mean, that last game went to 70 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And they were winning it. So I guess Team Spirit figures if they're losing it, that means it's going to go to like 90 minutes. May as well buy the Midas.
Quest, they have a different vision of this upcoming late game. They don't want it to let's get to that point. They're going to 5-man smoke up, 4-man smoke up, run into Mira. Again, not finding the cores, not finding Yatoro.
Well,
maybe
you
they find
that.
Laurel.
Ooh, they were so close to breaking that smoke around the pit. That was a double damage Silver Edge Tiny here. Would have smacked them clean. Might show on this ward, though.
Oh, they show on the ward. They spotted the Shadow Demon.
Flickered. Yeah, he saw him.
Yep.
But he's out.
He's going to TP out, but is Laurel somehow going to get caught because...
Nah, Laurel's too good, man.
Mapushka.
There's no way he gets caught.
Dire are scanning.
You were trying to jinx him.
No. You were hoping he did just so you could throw it back on me.
Yeah, they actually scanned the corner, but already TP'd away.
Man, some decent time wasted here. I don't know if you're gaining too much.
Dire's
I mean,
bottom tower is under
This is
attack.
Quest time to strike. They got that Butterfly Gyro Silver Edge Tiny. A lot of damage coming out right now with that Beastmaster to buff it all up with the Vlads and the Inner Beast. Just huge power spike right now. We're looking into this next Roshan. You get that next Roshan, put the Aegis on Gyro, you are going high ground. It's not a question, it's happening.
Radiant's top
Just a matter of how much map pressure Yatoro can create in the meantime, I guess. And he's looking at MKB to deal with the Butterfly. So that's going to be his answer. Just get the MKB and take that fight when it comes to him. And if you win that, maybe you can turn this game off the back of the Terrorblade here. He will take pole position in net worth. Midas Gaming.
A later Roshan really plays to Team Spirit's favor, too.
Dire's
Yeah, this
bottom
is a lot of
tower is
time
under attack.
that the ball
Yeah.
not getting much done, and that's BKB for Collapse.
They get double Wisdom Runes. Maybe they'll be able to chip away one of these tier 2s. Yatoro's got an MKB. A lot of this could be changing.
We're going to contest. Man, Team Spirit, they just contest every Roche, it feels like, no matter what.
It is so hard to contest the Phoenix in this corner, though.
It's deadly. And you know Cowrie's just going to sit way in the back. There's no reason to be anywhere close to the front lines. They have
Maybe Noob
Beast
makes
summons
things
as
a little
well.
bit weirder, though. Moonlight Shadow, they do get the D ward. They tried to jump
I mean,
Team
somebody's
Spirit
getting
first.
tossed, right? for sure.
They're going to spot him on the dragon. They don't go for him, though.
This is such a hard contest. You just don't really have anybody who can go in first and create the opening for you other than Collapse just dueling a core. He just doesn't see anything.
It all comes down to Noob's initiation.
That's
another
good
ward.
That's a very good obs. Quest know it's there.
Any D-ward from Team Spirit? Because they may get caught on this vision here. Toro's trying to find something. Collapse going to jump forward with a bedlam on him. They jump onto an illusion. Supernova off onto the side. It is not going to be stopped. The Primal Roar catches the Collapse. He's not going to be able to hit the egg at all, and he's going to die under the fire. Now Yatoro, though, is able to jump back into the fight, though. The buybacks are going to come through. Shad is actually going to BKB TP out, but the TPs are coming in from the other members of Quest. The supports, are they going to complete it? Yeah, Noob completes that.
He's stuck in a corner, no blink.
This is incredibly awkward for Quest, who are now stuck in a corner without their carry. They're going to fight back, though. The arrow comes through. That's enough burst damage to bring down Laurel. Now he's going to buy back and try and make the trek back into the Roshan pit. Yatoro forced to use the Sunder. Getting a little bit low, was a little bit dangerous. Didn't want to get popped by the magic damage.
Where's that gyro, man?
Safe. The gyrocopter is almost here, but they've lost so many units for it. Another toss-up. Laurel will survive through this one. They have wiped out the other members, and just as Shad gets here, the rest of the TP buybacks from Omar and Toby can join in, but is this going to be enough? A 3 versus 4 up against a Terrorblade that doesn't have meta, doesn't have Thunder, gets hit by an arrow. Another beautiful one from Omar. The saves, though. First to heal, now a disruption. Shad, can he put through all of these illusions? He has to contest the illusions first, and he's actually dying to the magic damage. Collapse comes in, catches him with the duel, finishes him off. Quest collapsing around the Roshan pit as Collapse himself delivers the final blow. Laurel has to cancel the TP.
I mean, they gotta go bottom.
No big harm, no big foul. They get the Roshan. Or should.
Can they? I mean, they're low HP. There's no Thunder here for Yatoro, or no target to Thunder. So many buybacks committed for Quest for nothing they committed for.
Another arrow. They're searching for Maposhka, who they know is somewhere around here. They're not going to find him.
Yatoro will Thunder his buddy over here to allow them to go into the pit and claim this Dayside Roshan now. How did that fight go so wrong for Quest? I feel like
the BKB TP out and the supports completing their TPs.
I feel like he almost can't TP there. Like, I get it, because he's going to die, but at the same time, it just dooms your team.
Yeah.
And Noob bought back for this, right? He's coming back into the fight. Him dying first was a huge blow. I mean, the burst on Laurel, it's pretty clutch here with the arrow. You just don't have anybody to stand your ground against Yatoro, and he ends up just clean house behind the pit here as Roshan bails. Roshan didn't even want anything to do with this fight. He's out of there too.
Team Spirit forced just some questionable decision-making from Quest as a whole.
And even here, I mean, this arrow is incredibly good. He was going for Laurel, but he'll take Yatoro. The disruption always on time, and then Shad, he does not want to commit in because Thunder was coming off cooldown in 4 seconds. That's a hard one to judge.
He took so much damage from the illusions. Collapse, he's a half-health gyrocopter.
Just so many small plays from Spirit. Somehow they make these Roche fights work half the time. It's ridiculous. That is a very hard Roche fight. Though I think Quest positioning, it got a bit awkward, right? Because you had this Tiny up front, he got jumped first, and then you're not baiting Team Spirit to jump you into the Egg Roar, which is where your lineup really shines.
Yeah, there was no toss, but you were looking for the toss back into the Supernova, which, you know, it's like either a guaranteed kill or a terrible team
And
fight.
the jump from Collapse failed too. He tried to duel the Phoenix, and the Phoenix got egg off, and they roared Collapse, and he died.
Yeah.
So if your Tiny lives in that scenario, you're really happy.
And I mean, that was your side of the map.
Yeah, you had buyback advantage.
Roshan, so they had the buyback advantage on, and weirdly enough, it ended up playing against them.
What a crazy fight, man. Somehow they pull it out, down 10k. Now they're up 2 with an Aegis on Yatoro.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yatoro Terrorblade. Not to be trifled with. 3 minutes, an extra life, And his Midas will still help him in the backpack, going to work towards a butterfly.
And so many of these items quests we're looking for, they just got massively delayed. You were looking for the BKB on the Tiny, it's been delayed. You were looking on the AC on the Beastmaster, it got delayed. And you were looking for big support items here. The Cowrie, Phoenix, looking for that Hex that he loves to rush on this hero. It's been delayed. And now you're like 2k off of a lot of big items here. Whereas Team Spirit, they're starting to finish some of their own. And most importantly, like, you're 400 gold off this Ags for the Dark Willow. You're talking about the Midas on the Willow paying off in this game. Well, it's paying off now because all of a sudden your position's way better off that fight and you almost have an Ags with the attack speed. You're going to be able to kill this egg.
Kill the egg, do a lot of damage to the Gyrocopter when he doesn't have Satanic.
Yeah, this matchup actually sucks for Gyro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a matchup you can really think about when you pick it, but Dark Willow owns this hero. Because you consistently outrange him, you can never Satanic hit off the Willow, even if he goes in. You get stuck in the Brambles late game, you're a low range Agi carry, just up against massive spell damage, getting kited. It's an awful matchup.
Mass Illusions, Terrorblade plus Shadow Demon make this push in the top lane very easy for Team Spirit. I assume they're going to go for 2 here. No reason not to.
This Gyro just doesn't feel like he's doing any damage. Like, Toro is shrugging off the flat cannon right now. It's like one of these carries.
He did go for BKB and Lincoln, so
yeah,
he doesn't
very
have
defensive.
Daedalus complete.
Very defensive.
Reaper's side just to stop him from TPing away.
And of course, a nice disruption to dodge the Reaper damage.
Yeah, very good play by Miposhka. See why he is one of the best position 5 Shadow.
Yes, do you understand that? He dodged the Reaper damage so the Tiny would live longer, so that they could get the duel.
Damage.
So you doubted him, but this guy's good. He's good.
There's somebody out there who believes you're bullshit.
Yeah,
I feel sorry for that person. No, apparently it's AUI.
Yeah, well, he's done pretty well for himself, so I'm going to go back. I got the receipts, you know? Toro, he's got a will to go high ground. No meta, no dams, no Tiny. Got cheese in his backpack. Where is your damage? What is going to threaten Toro right now? Almost 4,000 HP with an Elven Tunic for some extra evasion. Oh, look at Laurel, man. Takes it for his boy.
12 seconds left on the Aegis. Obviously, Quest do not want to fight into that, but it does mean a second lane of barracks likely.
And this is where Gyrocopter struggles as a carry. Like, we talk about this hero being a first phase carry pick, how much you can do in the game, how good his laning phase is, but if you stumble with this hero and you fall into a game like this where you're behind and the other carry is ahead of you or more powerful, you lose your timing advantage, you lose your net worth advantage. This hero struggles to take the fight.
Got the duel onto the Tiny. Burst him down, nice and easy. Collapse is going to die for this one. They got off the egg on the high ground too. Laurel, he's going to be stuck. The disruption, but he comes out of it. Does manage to get out the hill from the cheese. He's going to be okay in the terrorize. Through all these heroes back. The Reaper's scythe cutting down Shad, making it easy for Toro to finish him off.
Very patient on the backside there from Team Spirit, holding the Dark Willow and the Terrorblade. Just letting Collapse go and tank it up. Looked like a decent fight position for Quest. That Gyro finally gets to output some DPS, and it just doesn't matter.
They're going to force the buyback out of this Gyrocopter. Melee Terrorblade hitting tier 4s, gets it out the TP in now. They have to take this fight, but Toro is not afraid. He's not backing down, not even
just
melee form. He turns around, kills the Phoenix. It's only Shad and Toby now. Shad, not long. He is going to fall right next to his teammates.
One of those carries was not like the other.
No.
It escalated very fast. A single Roshan buyback fight goes wrong, and